Once upon a time, in the heart of a verdant kingdom called Aurelia, where the rivers ran like molten silver and the trees whispered secrets to the wind, there lived a young and radiant girl named Princess Rose. She was the only child of King Alderon and Queen Seraphina, beloved by all for her kindness, wisdom, and the way her laughter could make flowers bloom, even in winter. But Princess Rose bore a sorrow. Though her kingdom thrived, she was born with a strange affliction. Her voice, beautiful and melodious, could only be heard by animals and the wind. To people, she was silent as a shadow. Many healers and mystics tried to lift the enchantment, but none could find the source. One spring morning, while walking alone in the royal gardens, Rose saw a shimmer in the sky. A bird, unlike any she had seen, glided down and perched on her hand. It was no ordinary bird. Its feathers gleamed like hammered gold, and its eyes held ancient knowledge. It tilted its head and said, in perfect clarity, "Princess of the silent voice, I have come for you." Rose's eyes widened, and she responded aloud. To her astonishment, the bird nodded. It could hear her. The prophecy of the Whispering Grove. The golden bird, who called itself Solaro, told her of an ancient prophecy. Long ago, the kingdom of Aurelia was cursed by a jealous sorceress, and part of that curse silenced the future voice of its true heir. Only the one who could journey to the Whispering Grove, far beyond the starlit mountains, and awaken the sober, sleeping tree of memory, could break the spell and restore the voice of the land. But there was a warning. The journey could only be made in silence and with a pure heart. Solaro offered to guide her, but the journey must begin in secret, for dark forces still watched the royal family. That night, Rose packed a small satchel, left a note for her parents, and slipped out of the castle. Cloaked in moonlight, she followed Solaro into the unknown. Their first challenge came in the Pop Forest of Echoes, where voices came alive and twisted thoughts into nightmares. Without speaking, Rose had to rely on her heart to guide her. She closed her eyes, focused on the gentle presence of Solaro, and walked through illusions of her worst fears. Her parents turning to stone, the kingdom crumbling, her voice forever gone. But she emerged stronger, her will unshaken. Next came the river of forgotten songs, a shimmering waterway where memory dissolved like mist. Rose began to forget her name, her purpose, until Solaro began to sing. It was a haunting, beautiful melody that tugged at her soul. She remembered who she was, and her voice, though still silent to others, rang clear in her heart. Finally, they reached the starlit mountains, where a guardian waited, a silver wolf with eyes like the moon. To pass, it growled, "You must give up your most cherished possession." Rose hesitated. She had nothing of value except a rose-shaped locket, her mother's final gift before she left. With trembling hands, she placed it before the wolf. It bowed, then vanished. Beyond the mountains lay the Whispering Grove, where trees stood as still as statues, their branches bare. At the center stood the Sleeping Tree of Memory, massive and ancient, with bark like cracked gold and roots that pulsed with fading magic. Rose approached and laid her hand on the tree. It was cold. Solaro flew to a branch and sang. Rose added her voice, quiet, tremulous, and real. As their voices mingled, light burst from the tree, its limbs stretching, leaves unfurling in iridescent green. Wind roared, The grove came alive, and for the first time, the princess's voice was heard by the world. The curse shattered. Rose returned to Aurelia, riding on Solaro's back, her voice a beacon of healing and joy. The people wept when they heard her speak for the first time, and King Alderon and Queen Seraphina embraced her, overjoyed. She became known as Rose the Resonant, a queen who ruled not only with wisdom, but with song. The golden bird remained by her side, and it was said that as long as she sang, Aurelia would never fall to darkness again. And every spring, the blossoms of Aurelia would whisper her name, carried on winds that once knew only silence.